Of the town of Westfield. I don't know if I'm.
Look at that.
Testing, 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 testing.
Testing. Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the town of Westfield in the county of Union, New Jersey at 6 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, February 11th, 2025 in Cafeteria B of Westfield High School, 550 Dorian Road, Westfield, New Jersey. The board will move immediately into private session to discuss matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including negotiations. The public portion of the meeting will resume at 7 p.m. Purpose of the meeting is to transact regular business of the board and to transact any other business to come properly before the board. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Thursday, February 6th, 2025, caused to be posted at the Office of the Board of Education, located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, the Star Ledger, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap into Westfield, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Patty, may I have a roll call, please?
Rob Bonaccio.
Here.
Kent Diamond. Brendan Galligan.
Here.
Charles Jelinas.
Here.
Layla Morelli.
Here.
Sonal Patel.
Here.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz.
Here.
Julie Steinberg. Mary Wickens.
We'll begin with a flag salute. Kent, would you mind leading?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will move and ask the board to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including negotiations, and be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Sonal, a second. We can do this by voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we are in executive session.
All right.
Is it a new statement or did he fix the old? He claims he fixed the old one. This is very obvious. It's very obvious. Well, because this one was also in Matt's presentation.
that one, look how cool it is.
Yeah.
It's from that same teacher.
Gotcha. The, there's a, it was a TikToker. He used the video of Josh, who does the ball that comes out there in the face. So you're sitting, and there's like a swinging ball. And
You
there's
mean
some
here,
physics,
or-
yeah, there's a physics teacher here.
Oh.
But like some TikToker found the video on YouTube of his students, like with this physics test thing, and they're all like, oh, or like whatever. And he used it in like this like remix video. And it was like so weird.
It's funny, like stuff
Yeah.
like that, I don't know anything about once again.
Yeah,
It would just, I've been here 7 years.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's physics, physics,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That'd be a cool,
right.
something for the population. I don't care at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say in a few months.
It's been 7 years, I don't care.
Matt, how did you like hanging out with Rich Crazy Man Freeman? Text about. You hung out with Rich, right?
Who's Rich?
Freeman. He was a principal at Riverdale and at Maplewood South Orange for a while. He was with you and
Was he?
Matt Murphy and
Oh, yeah.
Dr. G.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Like a little shorter.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was with you, but
Right
you
here.
don't know who it is.
Alright.
He's like a notorious wild man.
Was he?
Partier. Yeah.
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 Huh. I don't know.
Either you were all partying too much and you forget
Could've been.
this wild man partier.
That's part
Yeah,
of
I
it.
mean,
Perhaps he ghosted you or you ghosted
It all just
him.
blended together.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering I saw you and you were kind of like, all right, I'm over this night.
No, that was on Thursday night. So Wednesday night, we went hard.
Yeah.
Thursday night, we ate so early that like we ate at 5.
Yeah.
So by the time after, like, I cannot do, like, if we start the night and do like cocktails and stuff and then don't eat, I'm good.
Yeah.
But if we eat, I want to go to bed. Like, after dinner, I am just like cooked. So
Yeah.
we ate so early that we ate and then went out to another bar with another vendor. And by the time we got back to Harris, it was only like 8:30.
Right.
And I was like, I'm ready to go to bed. And everybody, there was no plans. Like, they were like, oh, let's just go play poker. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not watching it. I'm going. I was literally on the phone with my wife in the hotel room at
Yeah.
9:30.
Yeah, we
My friend, like the first day you do kind of,
Yeah.
it's that party atmosphere, and
We
then
didn't-
like you lose steam.
well we did not do that because UBS. We went to the UBS dinner on
Yeah.
Wednesday night, and it didn't start until 7:30.
Yeah.
So we didn't get our entrees until like 10:30
Yeah.
at night. And like at that point, Ryan's cooked.
Yeah.
Done. Joe was like asleep at the table, and Arvin was like, "All right,
What are we
what are we doing now?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm going to bed."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
we went to the pool party, the like ClassLink pool
Yeah.
party at like, I guess it was probably like 11, and it was starting to like die down, and I was like, all right, nobody's really doing anything, so I went up at like 11:30 the first night, but we had been going since,
Yeah.
I think I got to Ray's room at like 3,
yeah,
so we started pregame at 3, so that was like a good like 8 hours.
yeah,
Yes, by that time, I think it was sufficient shot. Marianne, do you think that the Spirit AI, like we do, so they requested that we send out a separate email to everyone,
Yeah, no, but
but I think we do newsletters.
well, I guess you know me, I'm a keeper of all this stuff, so my first reaction was, but I didn't know enough about who they are and what they are.
Yeah, so it's a program that we're running. So we're running it on the district.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
So now
district.
you do it.
Yeah, it's not like just some random.
Okay.
Ray and I met with this guy. It's primarily going to be for our kids, but I'm going to send it would say by next week, we should get it.
So, okay, we're not sending emails to families.
Right. Yeah, I know he requested this, but I don't think too.
I
Yeah.
think the newsletter, technically are emails to all the families,
Right.
you know, so.
And we only need 20, we need 20 kids. I mean, it's expensive, it's like $1,600. But, right, yeah. Okay.
But, yeah, especially
We are, it's supposed to be, so basically what we do is ship kids in, all of them on TV, it's not Stanford. I'm off for 2 weeks, and it's useless courses, it's not that projected, like, so for us, it's great for kids, and pretty much that's what we want.
yeah, so we talked about if maybe want to start the process.
Yeah, I would say like that by next Friday, we should start, because he sent that to us in January. Well, allegedly, we had this meeting together on the phone, we ran on everything. Early January, this is after the fall. That meeting in January, went through the MOA, went through everything. So, okay, so I'll send you all the stuff to get you registered. And then we jumped on today, like, I was like, registered, I was like, well, I didn't get it sent out. He's like, no, I sent you an email, January 8th. I'll be sending it. I was like, well, you said the superintendent too. He's like, yeah, neither one of us got it, so. Which one?
And so I didn't look like the grade was
It's,
it's
it's a text. It's text and, yeah, I'll ask him to do like flyers. It's, right, right.
I'll mark it for next in my list of tasks. I'll put it for next.
Right. So there is this, I mean, we could link to this presentation. That it's all about.
Maybe there's something.
Well, I could just ask him to do it.
Yeah, just a one pager or just something, some sort of graphic. And I think definitely that. Hey,
I'm sorry.
what the hell?
I'm sorry.
How are you?
It's
So you're
happening
gonna
now.
come tell my kids?
You're gonna, well, I didn't organize the thing.
You said no.
You gave me 3 days to figure out a,
Ron Allen is peeved.
well, why Ron Allen should give us more time.
Well, I guess because it was grant money and they just got.
Who's he peeved at?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, Gail,
I wasn't going anyway.
you gotta.
Oh, I know that. But I think because I'm the only person who goes who's not a police officer, they're trained. You know, could have done that, could have done that. Yeah, because, you know, it's Pennsylvania, but, because when we went to Washington, it was doing. So I'll break the news to them tomorrow. I'll be the bad guy. So how's it gonna work toward the future? Because our money doesn't ahead of time. Everybody's, their trips are based on money. No, this was a regional thing. It was New York, Pennsylvania. Hey, where you at? The conference was starts on Friday, Saturday. But now how would it be excused for school? Now you say that? I'm gonna say that when you have something. So we could have went and not be school affiliated. They would have been considered absent. How would I deal with
It would have
that?
been verified absent. Yeah, this.
I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But somebody eventually has to take this over,
Yeah.
not me. Because my contract says I should do 3 more years, I'm done. Yeah. All right, so our contract says, we think we'll get to this. Actually, it's really good. Oh, Kim, you were coming. She speaks. Yeah. Yeah. I know. And 17 said no. What's 17 is on? Yeah, miserable. This element that we're in, we gotta cry. He said no. He did.
People don't appreciate it. That's right. That's right.
Or leaving New Jersey. Still not a 60. Wow. And we do, as a state, we do a better job than a lot of states. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And you know, the public policy, I know it's frustrating, it's a back deal conversation, not assistant superintendent and teacher. Why don't we do it wrong? I don't do it. What's happening? And I always ask, hello, how are you?
And Dan and me.
Yes. And then, yes, yes, yes. But not to get involved, to be with the kids, if I have a problem with it. I just have a problem with it.
But I think,
And I'm old. I'm 71,
yeah,
and I say it wrong.
right.
And you're in your 20s. Let's be honest. Don't give up physics. Because it's like a circle with Joshua, do your kids, you do my kids, and my kids, and I'll do your kids, and you'll do Josh's kids. But then again, you need to service your kids. So, let's be
Well,
They won't
again,
But they can't be fully on one side.
send stuff to the printer and then I log in and there's no documents in it. When I click secure print. It's weird. Other people are having the same problem.
Right.
So I don't know if it's a printer, a network issue, or.
You have the extension? Or are you not sure? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look at it tomorrow.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
That's not a bad idea for them at all. Food truck. How are you? We'll talk about food trucks.
Oh, yeah.
We need a food truck for the new cat,
Sure.
new lunch.
Should get food trucks.
Yeah. No. Is this a, listen, I don't pay attention to the weatherman.
I don't know, they keep downgrading it.
Do you live over the bridge?
I do.
Oh.
I live in, I live south of New
Oh, okay.
And the ocean county is supposed to be
Yeah.
the worst.
They still don't know the path.
We'll see. Yeah. We shall see.
Sorry.
Stop that. You're just expressing what I'm thinking and feeling.
It's gonna be contagious.
That's contagious, yeah.
Hello, how are you? Hey, ladies. Yeah, something like that.
I always thought she lives on this side of town.
My, it's my parents' house.
Oh, that sucks.
I went to school in North Carolina and I lived in an apartment for like 2 years and then moved back to the house with my parents and father. But I never had to go like through the. My mom's really sick and she houses too much of my parents. They just, they downsized. That's the time. And it was really great. The people that they didn't know was super great. And they were so excited to have their mom. Now it's not my mom. But they had their children. They moved up in Richmond. Their children went on babysitting. And then they moved out. And it's so funny because every now and then when I was a children, I just think I said she used to my mom. She's my mom. That's what she was there. And just like the tiniest teddy bear. When I went into them, like little people, I was somebody that I was letting in there talked to me, my niece called me, she's like, oh, Taylor is good. She's like, I'm past her age. She's like, it's sweet. It's like, yes. So how's it feeling? Good. It's mostly great. It's mostly great. I haven't watched about it since I was 16. I did 7 I worked as why did you wait so long? Well, I had 5 knee surgeries in high school and college all together.
Sports.
One accident. Knox, and as I got 22 years off my accident, which was great. Grateful. You really didn't get 22 years because 22 years. 22 years from my last surgery. Okay. I never did my ass off. No, I like did things I enjoyed still. It just got last year after I did my scale. So, like my nose was painful. Everything had been on my lap and everything I thought about maybe 2 years ago. I just did the replacement for my lap. It's fine.
Oh. You brought all the riffs out.
How are you? How are you doing? It's a thing this Wednesday all day long. That's been a little rough.
I know.
This week, these short weeks are so hard.
I was on Instagram.
Well, and Valentine's Day is elementary school.
Oh, is it?
Yes, and it's the 1,400th day of school. I'm questioning their math abilities.
Yeah, where's the Wednesday? Yes, oh my God, so funny. That is scary. My daughter, she did one, she did food service. Yeah, she just had participation tomorrow. She did a food course, she's like, Mom, I want a food course with a bunch of teachers. Yeah, that is a nice conference. I love it. Also, I think. I love New Orleans. I don't have a plan.
what is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Just wait. Just wait. I don't think I should tell my husband. Hey.
I saw that thought process all the time.
What did I say?
John was saying you were ready to turn off. And I'd be like, the car, and be like,
Just say Karen.
pick everything up.
It's a great way to get all the shit.
I went to the farm meeting, the county meeting, because I want to run for delegate assembly. I know. And it was canceled because they have.
Gang's all here. Thank you.
How you doing? Next Tuesday. It's next Tuesday. Oh, long time no see. So I said, send me the email.
I know.
Maybe we both need to, you know.
Well, you know what, I keep saying to
Be a
myself,
little
I'm gonna
cognitive-
remember to send it
cognitive
because,
therapy.
right, so see my emails right how to figure it out. That document you sent me, so I'm like, I'll remember. I'm with you. I can't remember any.
Hi, Connor. I'm sorry, I never responded to that. I was gonna say you look familiar because I sat with him like every
From last week?
I'll go low. No, I don't even know what's open with the custodian was in the hall. I asked her real quick. Ivory?
Yeah, long time no see.
So what guy? I was gonna say you're talking
And they posted it.
We had a conversation yesterday. All day long.
You rock.
Attitude.
How are you?
He's not a private
Yeah.
Are they all connected? Or fire?
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm Mama Morelli.
Yes, yes. And I miss him so. He comes to pal. He comes to pal. Yes, yes, yes. I miss him so. He was a highlight. You know what it is?
They're from the Zeller, if you guys say yes.
Yes, I have.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah, thank you.
I have.
Snow day.
Also, they're south, so that's why I was supposed to be ordering busing. It's not, it's harder.
No Mary tonight?
She's gonna get here at 7:30.
All right.
Oh, I did get on it, but
Is it asking for a code?
I did it after our meeting. I don't remember. I ran into.
But you were able to log in.
I was able to log in, but I'm good. I feel like I.
It's a good mind trick. You could log in.
I couldn't see very much. I saw some of the stories, but I don't get to see other things. Yeah, but I did get that.
Jackie. Glad midterms are over?
Yes, very excited that they're over. That's going to be a present.
Nice, yeah. Right, you're off on Friday, right?
Yeah, and Monday.
And Monday, yeah.
So nice long weekend. That'll be nice. And then maybe a snow day tomorrow. Delete everything.
Fingers crossed, yeah. He's delayed opening tomorrow.
Will be nice tomorrow.
Hey, if you can make the call before 4 o'clock in the morning.
You're on the board, just write yourself a note.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hi.
All right, let's get back into session. There are no announcements and recognitions today, so we will move right to the report by district administration. Oh, we do. I'm sorry. We do have announcements. Sorry about that. No recognitions yet. So let's start with Ken.
All right, thank you. Is this on? Student instrumentalists in grades 6 through 8 at Edison and Roosevelt Intermediate Schools were selected for the Intermediate Region Band and Orchestra for Central New Jersey, competing against more than 400 students for the coveted spots. Congratulations to the following students who perform in these highly competitive ensembles in March. Intermediate Orchestra, James Fu, 8th grade violin. Zane Nazer, 7th grade viola. Emma Wang, 7th grade violin. Emmeline Young, 6th grade violin. For intermediate band, we had Logan Shane, 7th grade alto saxophone, and Ariv Sheath, 8th grade clarinet. For the intermediate wind ensemble, we had Gabriel Garfield, 8th grade trumpet, and Annabelle Teo, 8th grade French horn. And finally, the intermediate symphonic band, we had Philippos Convokis, 6th grade trumpet. Congratulations to these kids.
Brendan?
Yep. The deadline to register for Westfield STEM Camp 2025 is this Friday, February 14th. More information, including the online registration link, is posted under the news section on the district website and school websites. Because space is limited, a lottery will be conducted for the online registration. Selected campers will be notified on or before March 1st.
Let's bump over to CJ.
This month, as we celebrate the diverse traditions within our school community, we recognize Black History Month, a time to honor the achievements, resilience, and lasting impact of Black leaders, artists, educators, and changemakers throughout history. Additionally, Ramadan begins at sundown on February 28, and we extend our best wishes to all who observe this holy month.
Julie? Yep.
This is a reminder that the deadline to submit completed petitions for the candidacy in the April 15th school board election is 4 p.m. on Tuesday, February 25th. Visit the board election page on the district website for all the information, including an updated nominating petition that now reflects new legislation requiring 25 signatures.
Layla?
Congratulations to Westfield High School 10th grader Nathan DeBoyle, who will perform with the New Jersey All-State Symphonic Band. Nate was selected from among several hundred student musicians during rigorous auditions. He will join this prestigious ensemble in performing on February 22nd at the Atlantic City Convention Center and on February 23rd at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center.
Ken, I think you had one more.
Yes, I just got this late-breaking news. The Westfield Public School District's Visual and Performing Arts Department is a recipient of the 2025 Music for All Advocacy in Action Awards, which highlights educators and programs that have created an exceptional event or idea in their field and community. In the entry submitted by VPA Supervisor Shauna Longo, the district was recognized in the non-fundraising community involvement category for Arts in Our Schools Month, which highlighted student talent, deepened community engagement, and amplified the benefits of a comprehensive art education. Congratulations.
Kristen?
All Westfield public schools will be closed this Friday, February 14th, and the full district will be closed on Monday, February 17th in observance of President's Day.
And Sonal.
The next regular public meeting of the Board of Education will be on Tuesday, March 4th in Cafeteria B at Westfield High School, beginning at 7 p.m. The meeting will be live streamed via the district YouTube channel, which viewers can access on the board tab on the district website. The complete agenda will be available on Friday, February 28th, also on the board tab. We look forward to welcoming members of the Westfield High School cast of Smile for a preview of this year's spring musical.
All right. Now I think we're ready. For a report by district administration, I'll turn it over to Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you. This evening, Ms. Ramos and myself will continue our presentation of the 2025-2026 budget, as well as our update regarding the bond referendum. What you'll see is a continuation of what we began last month, and with each passing meeting, we'll have increased details to be able to provide, but a lot of the information that we are waiting on has yet to be finalized. So that's the reason why we won't have as many specifics during this presentation as we will in the coming month ahead. So this evening, what we are going to do is speak about the two important decisions that will be faced by the community this coming April, and that is both the budget vote as well as the referendum. And each of those represent, as we had mentioned last meeting, two different and distinct yet equally important funding strategies for the school district to be able to achieve its goals. The budget assists us in providing the necessary resources to achieve our daily operating goals, but the large-scale goals that are associated with large-scale facility improvements are what are supported by bond referendum. So beginning with the budget, we are always guided by a set of priorities. And moving into this cycle, we recognize that asking our taxpayers and asking our community to weigh in on such an important fiscal proposition, we also needed to be mindful of the obligation that we're asking everyone to commit to. And recognizing that a referendum comes along with a large price tag, we were very committed to ensuring that our annual operating budget really represented a very succinct and concise set of priorities that would allow us to continue our existing programs and initiatives, so that the work that started along with our strategic plan that was launched 2 years ago would continue into the coming school year. We also were committed to ensuring that we maintained our current staffing model, and that means ensuring that our programs and activities, as well as our courses and classes, would continue to operate within the guidelines set forth by the board and the administration. We also recognize that the upcoming school year presented an opportunity for us to introduce a new master schedule at the secondary level, both at the intermediate and high school, and along with that, there were additional requirements for us to be able to make some investments in order to ensure that that schedule would be possible. So the priorities included the necessary aspects of the new master schedules in order to make sure those would be implemented. And then last but not least, we always maintain opportunities to continue our work to invest in our schools and our buildings and grounds through the use of capital reserves, maintenance reserves, and other resources. So looking at the 2025-26 budget, we're looking to continue our work. We're looking to maintain the momentum and certainly look forward to seeing the foundation that we've started to continue to grow.
So now what's in the 25-26 budget? So as Ray had mentioned, the curriculum writing, professional development, and resources that we started to invest in, we're maintaining all of that. And you can see the growth of the last 3 years in those areas. We are also adding 2 bus drivers, because we just we have our first bus, second bus is coming. The grade 2 furniture replacement, last year we did grade 1. We're going to continue on with that throughout the district. And the last thing is cafeteria furniture and equipment for the implementation of the block lunch here at the high school. There's going to be some upgrades and different areas that'll be utilized for eating that come along with the block schedule. The next page shows our potential tax levy increase. So as of right now, we still do not have state aid that's expected the last week of February. What we do know is that we are getting a health adjustment in our budget, which is equating to a little over $1 million. And what that puts us at is our base budget at 2.92%, and our additional spending proposal right now is at 0.69% of the budget. These are all things that are currently in our budget, not things like additional asks like we had in prior years. This is the continuity. We are maintaining our current budget. Anything like the cafeteria furniture, that is coming out of reserves, as Ray said. So the importance with the differentiation between the bond and our reserves, if we can have the bond pass, we can continue to build reserves to do things within our budget, like the cafeteria furniture, other projects, like what we just had at the high school happen this past week with the sewage pipe breaking underground. We're able to do that with our reserves. If we don't pass a bond and we have to do major repairs to our HVAC and other things, we won't be able to continue growing our district.
So moving on to our bond referendum, the update isn't as detailed as I mentioned before. Unfortunately, we continue to wait for the Department of Education to provide a final review and determination of our debt service aid eligibility. It's not a matter of if we expect to be eligible, it's just a matter of determining when we're going to get that notification. I've been in touch with members of the county office of the Department of Education as well as the State Department of Education directly, encouraging them and reminding them that this is a proposal that includes bringing full-day kindergarten to the community, which also aligns with our governor's priority as well, hoping that encouragement will assist in their expediting of our project application. But we continue to monitor it closely, and in the meantime, once we get that information, we will have the specifics necessary to calculate tax impact, to calculate the specific numbers that would be accompanying the ballot language that would ultimately appear on the ballot in April. But in the meantime, there are a couple things that I do want to highlight. One is that we have begun our scheduling of community engagement sessions. So there's no need to wait to continue our efforts to educate our community, inform our community. While the earlier presentations about the referendum may not have the level of specificity, that's the reason why we have about 30 engagement sessions. So what we'll do is begin by, actually as recently as this coming Thursday here at the high school, we will begin by meeting with as many community organizations, as many parent-teacher organizations as possible in order to provide the basic framework of what it is that we are looking to do, what we are looking to accomplish, and what that impact would mean academically, socially, as well as programmatically for our community. We do have, and we will certainly share the details of what we know regarding the fiscal impact, but the actual tax impact would have to wait until we get the final determination from the state. So those community engagement sessions you'll see in a few slides have been scheduled and are open to members of the community. They're both in person. There are some that are remote. We have them during the day. We have them at night. So if you're not able to make it at a time that works for you, we encourage everyone to take advantage of the alternative opportunities that are available to them. On our website, we've listed a banner available immediately when you log on to the Westfield website that will bring you to our portal. But we also have a nice, easy westfieldnjk12.org/vote to quickly and easily bring you to the necessary information. And then last but not least, over the past several weeks, we've continued conversations and certainly welcome the conversation to continue here among the board members about looking to identify all of these referendum projects into two ballot questions. One ballot question would consist, for the referendum specifically, one ballot question would consist of full-day kindergarten, the construction and renovations associated with that, and then the other would be all the other projects that were being proposed. Now, One aspect of the work that we are going to be doing is not only educating our community about the proposal, but also educating the community about the importance of being able to exercise their vote and their voice, both in person and in mail-in form. So we recognize that the April 15th vote is not ideal as it falls smack dab during our spring break. That is not a date, and I want to make sure it's clear, that is not a date that the district selects. That is the date that the state assigns. So we do not have the ability to change that date, and as a result, we want to encourage as many members of our community to go out and vote. So we are certainly encouraging the use of mail-in ballots, if at all possible, and if you certainly expect to be away during the April 15th actual vote. Patty, do you want to talk about the two
Sure.
questions?
As Ray had mentioned, we've gone out to our community advisory group, our ad hoc committee, and gone over in different other committees also how to break out the questions for this ballot, for the bond. And what we're at so far is the first question would be the renovations and improvements. So our HVAC, our bathrooms, the WHS auditorium renovation, media centers at the intermediate and high school level, small group instruction spaces, special education program space at the high school, and our multi-purpose room additions at Franklin and Jefferson for enrollment. The second question then would be the construction renovations that would be associated with implementing full-day kindergarten. And that's where we're at right now in terms of question 1 and 2 for the bond referendum.
One thing we want to highlight is that these represent truly important needs for our school district. This is not in any way prioritizing the first or second question as being more important than the other, but recognizing that these represent priorities in very distinct ways. The feedback that we have received over the past several months, really since the committees and community advisory committees have met, as Patty have mentioned, really helped to inform this list that you see, and as well the breakout of the questions. As I mentioned earlier, we do not have the specific numbers that are associated with this at this time, because now that we've determined what is going to go into each question, we now have to break out the costs associated with each of those. They've been lumped together in a single list. Now we have to identify of the renovations, of the construction, how much of that was specific to kindergarten, and of everything else that we are proposing for renovations and construction of space, what would then be relegated to the other question. And we're using specific language. We're talking about a referendum question versus a ballot question, because on the ballot, you will have many questions. You're going to have a budget question. So that would be the additional funding proposal that Patty had just mentioned earlier. Then you're going to that's going to be followed by your first referendum question, which is listed here, your second referendum question, and then there's also happens to be a board election. So board candidates will also be part of that ballot as well. So there's a lot of important decisions that need to be made by this community, but we want to make sure we educate everyone as clearly as possible. So the community engagement, as I mentioned before, this represents just a screenshot. You don't have to memorize it. This is all available on the website in the portal that I had alluded to earlier. As you could see here, a whole host of times and locations that bring us all the way up to the second week of April, right before heading off to spring break. So without a doubt, we are going to take advantage of every opportunity to reach out to our community. We are also going to make sure that we use all forms of media to get to you. We're going to rely on our partners in print and digital media. We're going to work on social media. We're going to have as many videos and virtual options that will be recorded for folks to access. But we also know, as many people have expressed time and time again, given the amount of information, we're finding that people read a lot less, unfortunately. And we want to make sure that we respect everyone where they are and the time that they have. So we're going to try and provide as much detail as possible. And we are also going to provide as efficient information as possible with infographics and other means to make the proposal as clear and concise, but also comprehensive for those who want to dig deeper. So by all means, we encourage you to go to the website and explore as many of the details as possible. Moving forward, what we see is that in March, we will be finalizing our decision-making around the actual language that will appear on the ballot. So that includes the budget vote as well as the referendum. So by the end of March, by the second meeting in March, we will have finalized the wording that will appear on the ballot. That will include not just the projects, but as well the dollar amount that goes along with it. That will then be transcribed onto the ballot. That will then be placed before the community on April 15th or via the mail-in ballot, and certainly look to get as many people out there as possible. So we encourage all of you, anyone who's watching, to really encourage your community members, your neighbors, your friends, your family who live in town, who are eligible to vote, to please exercise their vote on April 15th, and certainly reach out to us if you have any questions. All of these dates and times are really important for all of you just to know where we are in the process. We have about 60 days left, a little over 60 days left before that April 15th. There's a lot to be done and certainly a lot of opportunity for conversations to be had. But most importantly is that we ask all of you to help us grow our district. We ask all of you to encourage your neighbors to take an active interest in the growth and opportunities ahead of us by exercising their vote on April 15th. If you have not gotten a chance to check out our website, that includes our referendum and budget portal. There is a opportunity for you to submit a question so that if you do not have the opportunity to interact with any member of our staff to ask a question, we certainly encourage all of you to reach out and submit a question there. We'll certainly answer that question, but also use those questions to help inform our FAQs. That concludes our presentation this evening, and certainly want to open it up to questions from the board.
Ken?
Okay, sorry, just to highlight, so if the full day passes, then another 18 months or so down the road, we have to put another vote for teachers' salaries and all that?
Correct. If the
Just to
bond for the kindergarten passes, the year before kindergarten is slated to open that April, we would have the vote to do the staffing for the proposal. We are currently working on that. Now with the, hopefully the passage of a 5-year contract for the teachers union, we'll have concrete numbers to base that off of.
Okay.
Anyone else? The only thing I just want to add, and it's in the course of the discussions, it's something that sort of struck home with me and hopefully strikes home with the public. Many of the renovations that we're talking about and the additions we're talking about are things that we're going to need in our schools anyway, and in fact are probably well overdue. In the case of, especially in the case of a lot of the mechanical repairs, the bathroom work, space for, additional space for students, additional technology, more space to provide for the students we have here, more space to keep some of our students who are sending out of district at home where they belong. All of these things are things we need for, we just need. The positive of the referendum is these costs are what these costs are. And we can either try to spend the rest of our time factoring this into an operating budget and doing these far more slowly, or we can do this in the course of a referendum, which will create far more greater efficiencies as far as cost goes, but also it enables us to get some contribution from the state for what we're doing. So, in essence, we can either pay for this all ourselves, or we can pay for it in part for ourselves and get some of the tax dollars that we all spend, back into the district and keep them here. So it's just something to consider as you're doing your math and deciding, when you see these numbers, is this something I want to support or not? Again, these are things, the HVACs are going to break, all this stuff needs its work. So the question is, what's the most efficient way to get that done? And obviously, I'm certainly in support. I don't think that should be a mystery by anybody. But I just think it's something important to think about from a voter perspective.
Yeah, Rob, that's about 50 years at our current rate of spending on capital projects. 50 years to get the projects done.
Okay, so that's a little while.
Longer than the 30-year bond.
Yeah. So our kids, grandkids will be here by the time we finish. Oh, Julie, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate something that we discussed last time, or that I brought up last time, which is contingency planning. Last time I asked the question of Dr. Gonzalez and Patty about our contingency plan, and our contingency plan is, we don't really have a contingency plan. Our contingency plan is to really dip into our capital fund, and our capital fund is thin. We don't really have a large capital plan. Our other comparable districts have a much larger capital plan. We've been recovering from various things, and we have like $8 million maybe in our capital plan. And $8 million is a lot of money, but it's also, for some folks, a really healthy retirement plan. So we really need to think about that. And think about, whether or not we are going to kick the can down the road, or whether or not we're going to slide back on an $8 million capital fund, and how we're going to move forward as a district, if we're going to make a plan to move forward with something bold like this, or whether or not that we're going to fall back on an $8 million capital fund. I wish that we had something in between there as a contingency, but that's just not the choices that we have here. And I think that's just the state of play that we're in. And I think that when we're voting, we need to think about that as well. That these are, that sometimes there are choices, and those are the choices. And what that's like financially in your personal life when you have to make those choices. Do you want to make the bigger, bolder choice, or do you want to constantly be sliding back until there's nothing left?
Thank you. All right. With no further questions, any further report from the district? Okay. Then we will move on to our high school student report. James?
Good evening. As Westfield High School enters the second half of the year, students and staff are looking forward to a nice long weekend ahead after successfully completing their midterm exams. Saturday, the Westfield High School Choir Department held their annual Night of Love Songs. This event was super successful, and lots of people came to support our singers. Looking ahead, Student Government and the Community Service Club are planning for April's activity period during Community Service Week. A large part of that activity period revolves around students packaging toiletry kits for St. Joseph's and Elizabeth, a group that helps those in need. Over 1,000 kits are planned to be assembled, each containing everyday necessities like toothpaste, deodorant, and soap. To gather these supplies, an Amazon wish list is currently open. You can find the link on our Instagram at WHSSGA1. Those donating should make sure that they select SGA Care of Allison McDermott when checking out to ensure that the supplies are delivered to the school. Also, as part of Community Service Club Week, WHS students will face off against the teachers in a basketball game as the entire school cheers them on. Sign-ups for both students and staff are currently open. Finally, Westfield High School is starting to smell a little better now that professionals have come in to fix the pipes that were leaking sewage into the hallways and classrooms. While the issue is being handled, many students and staff were upset with the slow response time and lack of transparency provided by administrators. With the second semester underway, students are excited and can't wait to see what the rest of the year has in store for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move then to our board committee reports. We'll start with curriculum instruction and programs. Kristen?
Good evening. The Curriculum and Instruction Committee convened on the morning of February 3rd to discuss several updates and initiatives. The meeting began with a presentation by the district's enrichment teachers, who introduced the committee to the new enrichment program. This program is designed to provide meaningful learning opportunities for all students and consists of two components. The first component, Tier 1 enrichment, ensures that every student in K-5 classrooms have access to enrichment opportunities. Enrichment teachers visit all classrooms district-wide every other week to deliver engaging lessons focused on divergent thinking, computer science, and reasoning skills. The second component, Tier 2, is currently under development and will include small group pull-out sessions for students identified as needing more advanced challenges in language arts and in mathematics. This tier aims to meet the needs of students who thrive with more complex and rigorous learning experiences. The committee also heard from Tom Patterson, the district's K-12 science and technology education supervisor, who presented 4 new curriculum proposals slated for board approval tonight. Among these are 3 new high school elective courses, RoboLab, Home Technology, and Food Science. Each of these elective courses is designed to equip students with 21st century skills while fostering an awareness of STEM-related career pathways. Additionally, Mr. Patterson introduced an updated intermediate school course, STEM 8 Robotics, which provides 8th grade students with hands-on experience in robotics and engineering concepts. Next, the committee reviewed an application for an overnight field trip to Atlantic City for the district's DECA Club. This trip will allow multiple students to participate in the state competition, showcasing their skills and accomplishments. The meeting concluded with an overview of the proposed 25-26 budget for the Office of Curriculum and Instruction, presented by Dr. Bolton. The budget aligns with the district's strategic plan, particularly Goal 1, to deepen the learning experiences of all students to prepare them for the future. The budget includes funding for the development of new curricula across various departments, resources to support instructional programs, and professional development opportunities for teachers and administrators. These investments reflect the district's commitment to advancing student learning and ensuring educators are well equipped to provide high-quality education. The next meeting for SIP will be held on February 24th at Roosevelt Intermediate School. Thank you.
Okay. No questions. We'll go with a report from the Finance and Facilities Chair, Brendan.
Finance and Facilities met Friday morning, discussed mostly the budget because that's budget season. We got a nice presentation the last couple board meetings as to how that's shaping up. But I did want to highlight that we are tracking the status of federal grants that we receive. With all the news coming out of Washington every day, it's just worth tracking. So in Westfield, we get two federal grants, ESEA grants and IDEA grants. For ESEA, we get about $83,000 a year, but from IDEA, we get $1.7 million a year. We've been advised by the state that if anything happens at the federal level, what we've been allocated this year will be, for this current school year, will continue through June. And going forward, we should plan on getting about 70% of the grants going forward. We always budget a little bit less than we receive, but this is the first time the state's telling us don't expect what you've been getting in the past. So again, that's about 70%, or a reduction of about about $600,000 in federal grants that we're not expecting to get next year. We do have a tentative budget draft. We talked about that. We're anticipating flat state aid, but we haven't been given our actual state aid award numbers yet. We'll get those later in the month. State health insurance was a little higher last year, so we are allowed to exceed cap through a healthcare waiver. Works out to approximately, $800,000, Patty?
A little over $1 million.
A little over $1 million in
Yeah.
waivers?
Yeah.
Excellent. That reduces the amount that we have to ask the voters for. Every move we can get to get that number closer to 0 is better. We also talked about the referendum. The reason we don't have firm numbers yet is that we're waiting on the State Department of Education's facilities review to go through the plans and assign us a preliminary award number. We submitted the plans back in September, a month earlier than we needed to, and we expected results by December. It's now February. We still don't have answers. They are working on it, but they're behind schedule. And lastly, we discussed 2 policies that are on the agenda for tonight. One is Policy 511, which is the eligibility of resident and non-resident students, and Policy 8500, lunch. So with that, if there's any questions, happy to answer them. Otherwise, all right.
Okay, we'll next move to the Policies, Personnel, and Governance Committee report. I think that's Leila.
The Policy, Personnel, and Governance Committee met on February 6th from 3:45 to 5:30. In attendance were Dr. Gonzalez, Dr. Greer, as well as myself, Mary, Sonal, and Rob. The committee began by reviewing job descriptions. The maintenance worker job description was updated to reflect the most current responsibilities associated with the role. Additionally, with the recent purchase of new buses to support in-district transportation, job descriptions for bus driver and bus aide were created to define expectations and responsibilities for these positions. Next, the committee received its annual review of non-tenured staff from the administration. While no immediate action is required by the board at this time, final recommendations regarding annual staff renewals will be presented at the May board meeting. The committee also reviewed the most recent policy alert, which included revisions to several policies to align with the memorandum of understanding between law enforcement and the school district. Updates were discussed for policy 5512, addressing harassment, intimidation, or bullying, policy 5533 concerning student smoking, policy 7441 related to electronic surveillance in school buildings and on school grounds, and policy 9320, which governs cooperation with law enforcement agencies. Additionally, the committee reviewed the introduction of a new policy, policy 9163, which establishes a spectator code of conduct for interscholastic events, as is now required by the NJSIAA. In response to questions regarding the HIB process brought up at the last meeting, the committee conducted a review of the superintendent's HIB reports. Upon careful examination, it was determined that the reports remain compliant with district policy and demonstrate consistency in their application. No irregularities were found, and the committee expressed appreciation for the work that our counselors and administrators do when implementing the complex law, and concluded that no further action was needed. Before adjourning, the committee addressed informational items and reminders for board members. Members were encouraged to review the Westfield Board Handbook and submit any recommendations for revisions, additions, or deletions to the PPG co-chairs for committee review. Additionally, all board members were reminded to complete the NJSBA board self-evaluation through the provided email link. Any issues with accessing the evaluation should be directed to Patty for assistance. Lastly, due to a scheduling conflict, the March PPG committee will need to be rescheduled. A new date has not been determined yet, and updates will be shared once available.
All right. Next, we will move to a report. I'm sorry. Did you?
No, the ad hoc communication?
Right. I got it. That one I remembered. That's no worries. Good. It was good to have backup. So next is a report by the Referendum Communications Committee Chairperson. This is the ad hoc to talk about the referendum. That's Sonal.
The Referendum Communications Committee met on January 22nd. Mary, Kristen, Rob, and myself were in attendance, along with Mary Ann McGann and Patty Ramos. The meeting focused on 3 key topics. The first topic centered on an update from the Community Communications Advisory based on their January 13th meeting. A major point of discussion of the members of the advisory group was the need to effectively communicate the rationale behind full-day kindergarten to ensure clarity and understanding within the community. In support of this effort, updates to the online information portal will continue to roll out every few weeks, providing additional details as they become available. The committee emphasized the importance of encouraging community members to visit the portal regularly and to share the information widely with family, friends, and neighbors. With the referendum vote scheduled for April 15th during spring break, there was significant discussion on the need to raise awareness about mail-in ballots and voter turnout efforts. The committee recognized the challenge posed by the timing of the vote and stressed the importance of proactive outreach to ensure community members are well informed and have the opportunity to participate. The next meeting of the Community Communications Advisory took place on February 10th, and our committee will receive a report on their discussions when we meet again on February 19th. The third topic of discussion concerned the structure of the ballot questions. While awaiting the final determination from the NJDOE, the committee reviewed the process for bond counsel to begin drafting the ballot language. A key consideration was the number of questions and their content. Based on feedback from the community, the consensus was that adding any additional measures to the full-day kindergarten question could diminish support and potentially jeopardize its passage. As a result, the committee agreed to limit the referendum to 2 questions, the first being construction and renovation projects, and the second being the full-day kindergarten. The current plan is to list the budget first, followed by the comprehensive referendum question, and concluding with the full-day kindergarten question. These discussions will continue as the committee refines messaging and strategy in the lead-up to the referendum. Our next meeting is scheduled for 4 p.m. next week, February 19th.
All right, with no further questions there, we will move to the first public comment section of our meeting. During this portion of the meeting, district residents and staff are invited to address the Board of Education on agenda items only. These are the items listed in red, blue, green, purple, and gold on the agenda. There will be a separate public comment period at the end of the meeting for items that are not agenda action items. So if you have nothing on the action, please hold those until then. As a courtesy, please allow current students and staff of Westfield Public Schools to speak first. The board requests that individuals sign in and state their name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation, if applicable, for the record, the specific action items they are commenting on, and asks that all remarks be directed to the board president or designee, not to individual members or staff. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. If a matter concerning a district staff member is of interest or concern to a resident, that matter should be referred to the responsible building principal, superintendent of schools, or the Board of Education, either by telephone, letter, or email. Although the board may not respond to items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate the participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from the meeting or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration. All right. Seeing no comment on the first public comment session, we will close that, and we will move to some board action items. First, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 21st, 2025 regular board meeting and executive session. May I have a second? Kent, we do just a voice vote on that one, please. All in favor? Any opposed? And I will abstain for the record. I was unfortunately unable to make that meeting. Next, we'll move to governance items. Sonal?
I'd like to move item A under the governance section of tonight's agenda. Can I have a second? Thank you, Mary. Go, can we vote?
Let's move to vote then.
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Gelinas.
No.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
No.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
All right, we'll next move to the personnel items on the agenda. That's Mary.
Yeah, that's me. Thanks. I'd like to move items A to T under the personnel section of tonight's agenda. I just want to point out at item O, this is the final year of flag football before its recognition as a New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association varsity sport. The first 2 years we were funded by the New York Jets grant. Moving forward, it will be included in the budget. Can I have a second? Kent?
Right, before the vote, I think Dr. Gonzalez may have a comment.
Yeah, so this evening, we do have one retirement to announce. Jody Anderson is a member of our tech department. Jody has dedicated 25 remarkable years of outstanding service to the Westfield School District, where she's been instrumental in keeping our technology running smoothly, most recently as a system administrator. When Jody started in technical support, technology and education was in a completely different era. Think dial-up internet, noisy modems, and Windows 98. Throughout her career, Jody has seamlessly adapted to technological advancements, ensuring that both teachers and students had the necessary tools to thrive in an ever-evolving digital landscape. But Jody's contributions go beyond just maintaining systems. Her real impact has been on the people she supported. She has been the go-to problem solver for teachers during lessons, the hero for students when projects were at stake, and the calming presence in every tech crisis. With patience and dedication, Jody has been more than just a tech support specialist. She has been a cornerstone of our educational community. And as Jody moves into retirement, we reflect on her incredible journey, a journey marked by relentless dedication, problem solving, and a generous spirit that has left an indelible mark on us all. We wish Jody all the best for a happy and healthy retirement.
Rob, if I might.
Sure.
So the tech department isn't one that interacts with students and teachers on a regular basis all that much. Or at least it wasn't when I was a student. Jody's different. Back in 2005, myself and a couple other students, through an independent study credit, ran a Genius Bar type thing for teachers to help get familiar with the laptops they were given. Jody was our point person for that. So just, she's been involved at a higher level than most in her department for 20 plus years. I just want to call out and recognize her for that.
Thank you. All right, let's move to a vote then on items A through T.
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamonds,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Gelinas,
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes. Okay. I'd like to move item U under the personnel section of tonight's agenda. That includes the WEA contract for tonight.
Second.
Okay, Brendan did a second first. I didn't even call it yet. Can I have a second? Brendan. Rob.
All right. All right. This is always fun. So just a quick matter of discussion just for the public. So for the last few months, we have been in negotiations with our, the Westfield Education Association on a new contract. We reached agreement on a memorandum, which was signed January 9th, 2025. The board was briefed on the memorandum earlier. I know members of the negotiating team are here today. I thanked earlier our district administration and our board members who are part of the team, but a negotiation definitely is a two-way street. And one of the things I can very safely and very easily report to the public as these negotiations went is that, and we know this already, right? We know that our teachers are extremely supportive, extremely thoughtful, and generally put their kids sometimes above their own in their own lives, and that came through very much in their negotiations. Obviously they were, their negotiating team was fantastic. They obviously, did the hard work to make sure that the teachers got the benefits that they were looking for, but that was also met with a level of understanding and thoughtfulness and putting the district first, which is what our teachers do. And sometimes when that is what people are used to, it's what they tend to expect, but it doesn't mean it should not need to go unrecognized. So it was a very thoughtful negotiation. We're certainly, from the negotiation team's perspective, very happy with that. And I know the union president will want to speak a bit after, but I won't hold up the vote for that much longer. But I did just want to make sure that the public knew exactly what a positive process this was, and that we came to a great agreement that's going to benefit all of us, but our students in particular. So with that,
Rob Bonaccio,
yes.
Ken Diamonds,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Gelinas,
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Mary Wickens, Julie Steinberg, sorry,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
I abstain.
And with that, I don't know if the president would like to step up.
Thank you. On behalf of the Westfield Education Association, I would like to thank the board for their continued support of the work that we do in the classroom each and every day.
This contract is not just about numbers, it's about recognizing the value of our teachers. We appreciate your partnership in making our schools a better place for our students and our educators. Thank you as well to the administration at Elm Street, in particular Patty and Dave. We very much value the positive relationships and rapport that we continue to share year after year. A special thanks to Rob, to Brendan, and to Kristen for the many, many, many hours that you spent with us at the table. Your commitment and professionalism made the process much more manageable and productive. Your willingness to listen and engage in thoughtful discussions did not go unnoticed. Our community is very lucky to have you serving on our Board of Education. I know at times that being in a leadership position can be very challenging. Please know that every single one of us appreciates all that you do. The time you devote to the board for our students and to our staff in the Westfield Public Schools is beyond appreciated and is recognized by all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, let's do it again in 5 years. What do you say? Next, let's move to finance and facilities items. Kent?
Thank you. I'd like to move items A through I on tonight's agenda. Unfortunately, there's no donations to report here. Can I have a second, please? Kristen, thank you. Any questions, comments? Patty?
Go ahead,
Rob
Patty.
Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Gelinas,
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
All right, Leila, I think you have policies.
Yes. I'd like to move items A and B under the policies section of tonight's agenda. Do I have a second? Mary?
Patty?
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Gelinas,
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
No to A2, yes to all others.
okay, and Mary Wickens.
Yes.
All right, Kristen, curriculum instruction and programming.
I'd like to move items A through C under the SIP part of the agenda tonight. A is for the approval of the curriculum that I referred to in the report. B is for 5 field trips, and C is for a student intern / student teacher at Roosevelt next year. Can I get a second? Sonal? Good.
Patty?
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Gelinas,
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
All right, I will call the board's attention to the notes for the record. There was no unfinished or new business submitted for the agenda, so we will move directly to liaison reports if anyone has any. I will give one just quick report. I had the pleasure of being invited to the Westfield Chinese American Association's celebration on Saturday of the Chinese New Year. It was a blast, I got to tell you. A lot of great food, a lot of great performances, and a significant amount of participation from the community, especially from students at the high school. There had to be at least 12 to 16 students who volunteered in all forms, whether it was performing, whether it was helping for setup and breakdown, whether it was just being part of the stage and the lighting crew. It was really just a fantastic event, an absolute pleasure to be involved, and I would encourage our community. It happens every year. Please come out and be part of it. It's open to anyone in the community to come, especially the performances, and please continue to support it. But it was really a fantastic evening, and congratulations to the association for an absolutely outstanding event, and a thank you really for sharing the gift of the culture with us. Next, we will move to recognize the public for any items. During this portion of the meeting, members of the public are invited to address the Board of Education on any topic. As a courtesy, allow current students or staff of Westfield Public Schools to speak first. The board requests that individuals sign in and state their name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation, if applicable, for the record, and asks that all remarks be directed to the board president or designee, not to individual board members or staff. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. If a matter concerning a district staff member is of interest or concern to a resident, the matter should be referred to the responsible building principal, superintendent of schools, or the Board of Education, either by telephone, letter, or email. Although the board may not respond to items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate the participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from the meeting or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration. All right, seeing no rush to the microphone, I will close this public comment session, and I will now ask the board to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education move into private session for the purposes of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including harassment, intimidation, and bullying incidents. And be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board, which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. Please be advised the board will not be returning to public session. May I have a second? Second, Kent? Again, by voice vote, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we are in executive session.